WHGE 95.3 FM. Coming up, the Open Eye. All right. Let's get them started. Brother. But that's swing. Brother Vaughn, Brother Mishbah, see y'all. Ready to get them started. All right. Hey, Sister Tracy, I see you. All right. Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego diddling. We do so because the chains of oppression on our people's minds are deep and difficult to remove. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station. That's right, I'm Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist, and hopefully we're going to get some education today. I tell you what, first let's get it started right here, like I have been doing. Every generation has its purpose. Ours is to reveal the truth and reverse the brainwashing. Yes, indeed, as we say in the opening of the show, the chains of oppression are deep and difficult to remove. True teaching is not an accumulation of knowledge. It is an awakening of consciousness which goes through successive stages. That's a Kemetic proverb. And for those of you that don't know what I mean when I say a Kemetic proverb, we are with modern Western education know that that's Egypt. All right, let me get my disclaimer out the way, and then I'm going to come back with a little public service announcement. All right. The views and opinions expressed on Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM, nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual. WHGE 95.3 FM, Patrice Gibbs here, your third eye optometrist. Whoa. Let me make some adjustments here. Okay. All right. Public service announcement. Delaware Center for Homeless Vets has started a community outreach outpatient program. This program is open to all in the community. It's not just for veterans, okay? We help our outpatients create a healthier lifestyle. Housing assistance is available. Substance abuse and addiction recovery. We have one-on-one sessions to address each outpatient's needs. And there's counseling throughout the recovery journey. Contact Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Our crisis phone number is 302-650-2490. For those in need of outpatient recovery and assistance, call 302-650-2490. All right, all right. Let me get with this. And wax a little philosophical here. What's up, Steve? I see you, Sherry. All right, all right. All right. Stop calling people who don't call you. Stop visiting people who don't know where you live. Stop making time for people who don't have time for you. Stop spending on people who don't spend on you. Stop thinking about people who don't think about you. Don't allow people to live rent-free in your mind. You will make yourself emotionally bankrupt. You can love someone from a distance, and I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, but all relationships. Friends, families, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. Treat people the way they treat you. You know what? I'm gonna back up on that one. Let me change that one. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. Because what we do is we teach people how to treat us. But don't overexert yourself. All right? And give out all this love that's never returned. Life is difficult enough without having to beg people for their love and attention. The hell with that. The least you can do for yourself is surround yourself with people who genuinely love you and care about you. Most importantly, surround yourself with people that don't see you as an option. There's nothing worse than people who treat you like you're replaceable. I'm not. I'm one of a kind and a hell of a dude. Anybody that don't know that, hey, that's on you. All right. Let's keep it moving here. You know, most propaganda is not designed to fool the critical thinker, but it's there only to give moral cowards an excuse not to think at all. You know, thinking isn't illegal yet, in spite of what these white supremacists want you to believe. All right. Speaking of which, the U.S. could not have built the biggest economy in the world without us. Okay? Let me tell you what Dr. King said. Dr. King said America has deluded, I'm paraphrasing here, has deluded themselves into believing that the myth that capitalism grew and prospered out of the Protestant ethic of hard work and sacrifices. Let me interrupt the quote here and say that first line I said. The U.S. could not have built the biggest economy in the world without black people. Capitalism was built on the exploitation of black slaves and continues to thrive on the exploitation of the poor, both black and white. All right? This is why I always say that poor white people continually vote against their interests based on emotional BS. It could not have happened without black people. The largest reverse transfer of wealth, arguably in world history, and well, we're a little too low there, bro. And go ahead, you cool. And modern history was black slavery. That's not an emotional statement. That's a fact. The fact is the U.S. is the largest economy in the world. The fact is the first millionaire in America came from what? Cotton. Financing it out of New York City. Yes, slavery ended in New York in early 1800s, maybe even the early 1700s. I don't have the dates right in front of me. The fact is, black slaves were worth more than railroads. Now, railroads were arguably America's most valuable asset in the 19th and 20th centuries. Slaves were worth twice as much. The fact is, blacks worked for 270 years for free. Nothing like unpaid labor, huh? The fact is, we couldn't create wealth, we couldn't create assets because we were the assets. Bought, traded, insured, and financed and underwritten. And you don't think we got reparations coming? Let me tell you something. A lot of us, me included, okay, celebrate the teachings of Jane Elliott, a white woman. But there's a limit to that. Because you asked Jane Elliott, what about reparations? And she said, no, I don't agree with that. On that point, Jane Elliott, you can go to hell. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Wait a minute. Got to get a little musical break here. Nsoromma in the building. All right. And we'll do this right quick.
There will come a time when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. As other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, then the black man will think like a black man. And he will feel for other black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one black man, you are attacking all black men. And this type of black thinking will cause all black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon black people by white people. And it is the only thing that will bring an end to it. No federal court, state court, or city court will bring an end to it. It's something that the black man has to bring an end to himself.
All right, we ready? WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Nsoromma is in the building. He'll be with us in just a second. You know, one of the things one of the people that you often hear me talk about was Dr. King. Do you know how brilliant Dr. King was? Dr. King graduated from high school at the age of 15. He received his bachelor's degree at 19, his master's degree at 22. And we started calling him Dr. King when he was only 26 years old. Gotta respect that. Gotta respect that. Okay. September 15, 1963. 60 years ago. Do you know these names? Denise McNair, Cal Robertson, Cynthia Wesley, Addie Mae Collins. 60 years ago today, September 15th, 1963, 4 little black girls were murdered in the Birmingham, Alabama Baptist Church. Denise McNair, Addie Mae Collins, Cynthia Wesley, Cal Robertson. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. Good morning, Nsoromma. How you doing, brother?
Chop, chop, chop.
Chop, chop.
What's good, bro?
Get your mic up. All right.
Right.
All right. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, what's good, world?
Yes, it was 60 years ago yesterday. Four black girls were murdered, bombed by white supremacist terrorists in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay.
That's terrible how they basically put war on us and act like it's okay.
Oh yeah. Not only do they act like it's okay, but let's look at what they're doing with the education. Here's what they say in Florida about that, okay? Yes, 4 black girls were tragically killed in Alabama, but let us not forget that the violence was brought about by the protest of black people that made white people so uncomfortable that they felt they had no choice but to do what? And this is the mindset. This is the education that they're putting out there.
But every time we stand up for ourselves, they call us terrorists,
Right.
extremists, and all kind of stuff like that. Like we're not supposed to stand up for ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And I'll tell you something about that day. That the 4 girls killed in Birmingham on that church bombing,
Right.
they weren't the only black kids to die that day. Okay? And
They were only kids in the church. Why they go after kids? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they bombed the church, and the children were
In there.
in there, and they were the victims. They were in Sunday school and what have you. You know, it's you can't even fathom where your soul has to be.
Right.
Okay. You know, it made me think of, I saw this white lady. She asked, how is it that black people can sing like that? You know? And the brother said, it's in our soul. You know, you want to sing like that, all you have to do is reach into your...
They said so.
Yeah.
They don't have a... Come on.
You know? And how can you have a soul and murder 4 black children?
I mean, just the mindset. Why they didn't go to where people can defend themselves and do that?
That's word. Now, did you know there were 2 black boys who also died as a result of this tragedy? Right before youth Sunday services at 16th Birmingham Baptist Church, 14-year-olds Addie Mae Collins, Cynthia Wesley, Cal Robertson, and 11-year-old Denise McNair were killed after the Ku Klux Klan planted dynamite under the staircase of the church. The impact of the explosion completely obliterated the women's restroom in the basement where the 4 girls were. A 5th girl, the sister of Miss Collins, was discovered still alive in the rubble, but suffered injury to both eyes. For decades, the senseless killings of these young girls was remembered as a reign of racist terror that fueled the fire behind the fight for the civil rights movement. However, the terror didn't end at their deaths. 2 black boys, 16-year-old Johnny Robertson and 13-year-old Virgil Ware, were killed in the aftermath just 6 hours later.
Wow.
Johnny was hanging around with a few other black teenagers near a gas station on 26th Street. It was a tense scene. White kids drove by waving Confederate flags and tossing soda bottles out their car windows. They exchanged racial slurs with the young black men that were the young black boys that were out there. All right? Well, what happened was, you know, they responded to them. And these white boys shot them. Shot 2 of them.
Wow.
Shot 2 of them. These were teenagers. See, they start them young. They start them in on this propaganda young. And this indoctrination of white supremacy. And it's okay to commit white terrorism against our black community. Wow. They start them young. Okay? And you want to know how young? 14-year-old boy. Where was that? I didn't bring my notes on it. 14-year-old boy. was almost drowned by another white boy, okay, who tried to pull him under the water and drown him after he told he couldn't swim. Now he's being pulled under the water, and he's stating clearly that he couldn't breathe. And you know what the other white kid there said?
What?
George Floyd, you can't breathe, ha ha ha. Okay.
Yo, man, that is ignorant.
Yeah, it is. And these were children. So where are they getting that?
From their parents.
Damn right. Ooh. Yeah. That's where they're getting it. They're getting it from their parents.
I got a question to you.
Okay.
How is the Ku Klux Klan not an outlaw organization in America?
Yeah. Why is that?
How are they still able to even holler KKK?
And still exist.
And still exist.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
Out of all the terrible things that they have ever done throughout the history of their creation, that in America in 2023, going into 24, how is that organization
still in existence?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know? Well, let's consider where we are. Okay? This is the land of white supremacy. And what is the Ku Klux Klan? The Ku Klux Klan is the violent military arm of white supremacy. See, the thing is this. When we say white supremacy, what most people think about is the Ku Klux Klan. Okay? Is the neo-Nazis.
So why we call them supremacy instead of extremists?
That's you know, that racial term, that white supremacy. But yeah, you're right. That's what they are. They are extremists. Okay? But when you live in a land of white supremacy, okay,
you can be extreme.
Right. And you're not seen as extreme if you have hatred and murder for black people. And let us not forget what the propaganda has done. Okay? Because you have people that have the nerve to say that Black Lives Matter, the Black Panthers, the Nation of Islam, the Civil Rights Movement are black identity extremists.
Wow.
Okay? Well, in a land of deep white racism, where that racism is so ingrained, okay, that which seems extreme to a righteous person, to a white supremacist, is the norm. Okay? And that's why any semblance of equality to a white person had them running around crying about they're oppressed. Go to hell. Oppress that son of a bitch. WHGE 95.3 FM. The Open Eye.
Yo, good morning, y'all. What's happening? Sharon, Steve, Jardell, what's good? Miss Spot, Macy, yo, Gary, what's happening? I ain't seen you in a minute. You said Alabama Rednecks? That's what they, hey, yo. And they was just kids, man. I don't play with my kids. I will tear you apart for my kids, yo. For real. I'll go in on you. So listen, yo. What's good? Keep tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Meese, what's happening? Hey, yo. I forgot what vest you was talking about.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
All right. Let me tell you something. Europeans were by no means the pioneers in human civilization. Half of man's recorded history had passed before anyone in Europe could even read or write.
Right.
The priests of Kemet began to keep written records between 4000 and 3000 BC. Okay, I say much earlier than that. While pharaohs were building the first pyramids, the first skyscrapers, okay, Europeans were creating nothing more than garbage heaps. Don't get that mixed. This is who these people are. You know, I saw this white guy. He came on talking about, well, you know what? Black people need to stop stealing our white history and claiming it for themselves.
Say that again.
Black people need to stop stealing our white history and claiming it for ourselves.
Oh, word.
Yeah, the history of Egypt belongs to the Egyptians that are there right now. And Cleopatra was a Greek. And we, wait a minute. You ignorant ignorant moron that knows nothing about your own damn history. Okay? First of all, the Greeks and the Romans, okay, if you look on the historical clock, okay, they came along 2 days ago. The Arabs came along yesterday on the historical clock with the ignorant ass. Okay, they didn't build nothing. Because if you built all these pyramids in Egypt, how come when we look over in Arabia, it didn't have nothing but a bunch of goddamn tents? Get the hell out of here with that crap. You kidding me?
You said a bunch of tents?
A bunch of tents. Y'all, they didn't stop living in tents until the 20th century. All right? The rulers of Saudi Arabia, the founder of Saudi Arabia, Ibn Saud, okay, he lived in a tent until the early, I don't think the founder ever lived in an actual stone building.
Oh, okay.
All right? And these were the rulers now, okay? And they didn't actually live in a stone building. All right? There are no ancient monuments in Arabia that shows that these people were advanced in civilization or even had real civilization. A bunch of goat herders that you get your goddamn religion from. You know, that had no idea of history or sense. What happened was, what? Our people, once again, being too damn kind-hearted, right?
Hey, yo, we are nice, though.
Yeah, we are. We're some nice people.
I know, that's crazy.
And we need to stop that crap.
I know. You keep going, though, bro.
Yeah, all right? They had no idea. We opened the door and let them in North Africa. And then these fools want to go around claiming that they built something. You didn't build a damn thing. Just like, you know what? Because you had no industry. All right? You want to find where industry started? You have to go to the root of Egypt, the root of Kush, the root of Nubia. You have to go into the southern part of Africa. Because the way the European presented the world is upside down. Because the top of the world is actually south. Okay? And you look in the southern part of Africa, okay, they found an iron smelting factory that they dated back to over 100,000 years, maybe as old as 400,000 years.
Wow.
They were smelting iron.
Back then.
Back then. Now, in order to get to that level of science, okay, there are other sciences that have to take place. Okay? And this is what you call industry. So all these other sciences had to take place before they could even get to building a factory. Until they could even get to making fire hot enough to melt iron, to smelt iron. You know how hot you got to get the fire?
600 and something degrees, right?
Yeah.
To 1,000, 600 to 1,000
to 1,000 degrees. Okay? All right? Ain't no, you know what? What? You ever seen a black caveman?
Actually, I haven't.
No, because we didn't live in no goddamn caves. That's why you have never seen that. WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm going to come back and show you how cold these people are.
Yo, eating rare form this morning. Yo, a black caveman. Anybody ever seen a black caveman? Hit me up. Let me know. What was his name and everything? Because he would have a name. Yeah. He going in this morning. Yo, what's up, Gary? They've been making swords for a long time. That's right. The swords is what we used to fight with before the Chinese and all of that.
That's right.
We was the one that made them. Yo, I know it's sad, man. I know.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the open eye.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We were making swords long before. You know, you saw the movie 300?
Yeah, man.
Okay. In the movie 300, their military formation was called the Phalanx. Okay. And the Phalanx was basically a human tank. Okay, because what they had was they had their shields in the front and what have you. Okay, and through the shields, you know, they pointed their spears and what have you. And this is how they moved that forward. Okay, how they moved forward. Okay, you know what? You know, these Greeks never were successful with this phalanx in Africa, okay? And you look at the war tactics of the Zulu, which is called the horn, okay? They would have completely destroyed the phalanx, okay? Because with that phalanx moving forward, what the horn does, okay, is shaped like a horn, okay? And you have the front, okay, where the warriors are, and they move forward and face the enemy, okay? When they move forward and face the enemy, they give the enemy the idea that they are superior. And they move back. And as they move further back, the enemy comes into the horn. Okay. And then the young, strong warriors that form the horn, okay, close in on the enemy and destroy them. The Greeks had absolutely no competition for that type of tactics. Now, as a kid, I remember I grew up during the Cold War, or, you know, I guess it was coming to the end of the Cold War. Well, yeah, I grew up during the Cold War, and I distinctly remember being told by adults how awful it was that kids in the Soviet Union couldn't learn real history. They could only learn state-sanctioned propaganda. Now, these same exact people are now advocating for the banning of books and history in the U.S.
State-sanctioned propaganda.
Yeah, that's exactly what our education system is now. State-sanctioned propaganda.
Right.
That's where. Now, I want you to hear this, because I want you to know how cold-hearted and how evil these people are.
Wow.
Okay, check this out. Let me get the volume. I'm sorry about that. Don't worry about it. Here. Here we go, right here.
Initially, he said she was in a crosswalk. There's a witness that says no, she wasn't, but that witness could be different because I don't think she was thrown 40 feet either. I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead.
Yeah, that's that police officer that hit the girl, right?
No, it's a regular person.
Just a regular person.
Yeah. Yeah, just write a check.
Hear that?
Just $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
You hear that?
She had limited value. This is
$11,000 check.
Yeah.
He laughing at
and
killing
he
her.
laughing.
And he think he better than anybody else because he's like a regular person.
She was just a regular
that's
person.
the way they think.
That's the way they think.
That's their authority they carry.
Yeah.
Like they, you know, and aren't they supposed to be working for we the people?
And do they have a soul? Can you laugh at someone's death?
You just killed them.
You just killed them. Let me tell you, for those of you that don't know, this Seattle cop is under international scrutiny and defends jokes after a woman's death. A Seattle police officer is under scrutiny for laughing on video over the death of a young woman fatally hit by a patrol car, right? And his laughter and joke, he says his laughter and joking was actually taken out of context.
It's nothing, period, that he can even laugh about in that situation.
That's right.
It's supposed to have been taken out of context.
Yeah. Officer Daniel Adair, who is also vice president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild, responded to a scene on January 23rd where another police cruiser going 74 miles per hour fatally struck 23-year-old Janavi Kandula at a crosswalk.
Wow.
In a 25-mile-per-hour zone where he had no siren or lights on. Yeah. Body-worn camera footage released Monday shows Otter speaking on the phone after responding to the incident where he appears to make light of Kandula's death. He didn't make light of her death. He made fun of it.
Right. He joked about it.
He joked about it.
He should be locked up for life.
Yes, he should.
Period.
He definitely should not be on the police force.
Right.
$11,000. She was 26 anyway. That's
How
what
that
he said.
sound?
She had limited value.
Right, and she got kids and family and everybody. Yo, yeah, here, do you hear the way that's just sickening? Really, we got to really start. What you call it? Putting these police officers that's becoming cops under the spotlight. You know, because they just run wild, man.
Yeah, because it was just a regular person.
Just a regular person.
You know, in a statement released in August by Seattle's Office of Accountability, I paused on that because what damn accountability? All right. Auditor said his comments were taken out of context, claiming that he was mocking lawyers and laughing at how such incidents are litigated. No, you wasn't. You're a liar.
They are. They don't do nothing but lie anyway.
That's where they're born liars. Absolutely born liars. Now, Watchdog Agency is investigating the incident. Okay? But the thing is, the one that's watching the incident is the same cop that was making fun of this. That got a big laugh out of this girl dying. A big laugh. Now, this girl was supporting her family back in India, sending money home to support her mother and this, that, and the other. And to you, she was of limited value.
How that sound, man? That's just crazy.
Yeah. That's word, you know. Now, I hate to go there with this, okay? But this, what's his name? Babak Rashami, who is a Indian running for president, okay? What he is doing is he is propagating, pushing white supremacy. And this is a brown Indian, okay? Don't get it mixed, because a lot of brown Indians, including Gandhi, had no love for us.
Right.
Okay.
None of them have no love for us.
None of us. None.
That's in them high positions.
Yeah.
They just in them for the money anyway.
Yeah. You know, now this Babak Rashami gets on, you know, spouting all kind of racist propaganda and what have you. And the crazy thing is, he's on here telling black people how we're supposed to feel about racism. Okay, he's on, you know, and I don't know why. I hate to even bring up his name because I don't want to give him any publicity.
Right.
Okay, but I don't know why legitimate, so-called legitimate news stations,
Indian man.
yeah, you know, give him a stage or a platform to spout the crap that he's sprouting.
That's why, because he part of their team.
Yeah. See, and he knows that in order to attract white people, the best way to do it is to say something disparagingly
About black people. Wow.
Okay? Which, of course, you know, the Raccoon Brigade, such as Niggle P and Big Winch, Candace Owens. I saw her from a few years ago on a panel with T.I.
Oh, yeah, T.I. chewed her apart.
Yeah, he did. He ate her ass up. Boop! And he should have. Because this Negro P and Big Winch is a sellout of the lowest order. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that this young lady whose people, who was, you know, killed by the cops' recklessness and lack of accountability, because they're going to get away with it. Because in my opinion, if you were driving recklessly, it's vehicular homicide. Okay? So the cop that was driving, he needs to go to jail for vehicular homicide. And the cop that was laughing, he needs to be put under the jail for having no soul, and he should not even be allowed to walk around in society, because how do you appeal to someone's morals that don't have no goddamn morals? WHGE 95.3 FM.
That's messy, man. Messy.
It's absolutely messy.
Wow. Yeah, I can read you, Gary. I see you. I can see you writing. I can't see you. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that because we just doing a radio thing right now. But yeah, it's crazy, right?
one of the topics that I have been covering in the past few weeks is what's going on in Nigeria. Okay, with the French specifically, because Nigeria has they had a coup where they kicked out their president, and there are other countries that have since had a coup. For instance, Gabon. Okay, Gabon had a coup where they kicked out their duly elected president.
Right.
Okay, who happened to be the son of the previous president, who happened to be the son. See, this one family had been ruling in Gabon for several generations.
Okay.
Okay, and they have become wealthy and living very comfortably while the people live in poverty. Okay, and it's because they sold out to the French and to the West and to the Europeans and what have you, and the people have gotten tired of it. Africa is waking up. And remember, see, many of these leaders in many of these African countries, okay, they do not, their age does not match the age of the majority population. The majority population throughout Africa, okay, which is 70%, are under 40. Okay, when you have a population that young, under 40, led by old people who have been nothing but a bunch of goddamn sellouts for decades and what have you, okay, it's time for a change. And that's what these people are bringing about.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me tell you something about Nigeria and uranium. You know how much the French have been paying Nigeria for uranium?
Nah, actually, uranium should be expensive, right?
Yeah.
That's,
They've been paying 80 cents a gram.
wow.
Okay? 80 cents a gram. On the world market, uranium is $200 a gram.
And they paying 80 cents.
And you wonder why they kicking the French out. The French said, their president, Macron, said, we ain't going nowhere. Oh, the people in Nigeria said, you want to bet? They went and closed down their embassy, put their ambassador in a car, took him to the airport and said, get your ass out.
That's right. That's what we got to start doing, putting our foot down everywhere.
Putting our foot down everywhere.
Yeah.
Get your ass out. You know?
They killed one of us, killed 10 of them.
That's right.
I'm sorry, but eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. We have to start applying that, man.
That's where a tooth for a tooth. You mess around and take one of my teeth, you're going to be wearing dentures. Don't pull all your goddamn teeth. You kidding me? That's word. So Gabon has, Nigeria has raised the price,
right,
rightfully so, of uranium to the price that is on the world market. And that's what they're charging the French. $200 a gram.
That's
you
right.
ain't with it? Find it somewhere else cheaper and on the level of quality uranium that we have.
Right.
We're not going to do it. Okay? And what we're going to do with the money is we're going to build up our infrastructure. We're going to build up our country, our education system.
Right.
Okay?
It's only right.
It's only right. It's only right. Because when I say global African supremacy, why would I say something like that? Okay?
Actually, why? Why would you say something like that?
Why would I?
Yeah.
One, the first point I always make on that is because when the black man ruled the world, it was a more humane place. Okay, when we went in, for instance, when the Moors went into Spain, they didn't go into Spain and make them become Muslims or African spiritualists. They said, hey, if that's your religion, you want to be a Jew, you want to be a Muslim, a Christian, go ahead and do that. But understand that we're running this, and we're not going to tolerate you forcing yourself and your beliefs on other people. We're not having that. That's not how we run things. And you're going to take a bath. WHGE.
They stunk.
Woo! Are you kidding? Now look, I'll tell you something. And this is something I seen. Look, before I go there, right? Okay, for instance, when they came into different places out of Europe. Okay, when they came into Africa, when they came into the Pacific, where African descendants were on different islands.
Okay.
Right? They would be greeted with flowers, and you know how the Hawaiians put the
Yeah,
flower
they around
thing?
your neck.
Yeah. Oh, well, they thought they were being honored. Okay, but they put them flowers around your neck because you stunk. I seen one of these mayonnaise madams, okay, proudly get on and say, well, I don't actually wipe my bum after I have a bowel movement because that's not natural. When you see lions and tigers and bears, you know, when they have a bowel movement, they don't wipe their bum.
Actually, they do. They scrape it on the grass and they rub their booty on the grass.
Right.
Yeah.
But they still come with a strong odor. Can you imagine what this hussy smell like?
Oh my God.
She come show up all dressed up, smelling
She
like,
don't even wipe.
and she don't even wipe.
Yo.
And then you got some of them talking about, I don't, you know, and I saw one of their physicians. Right? This woman is a doctor. And she said, you only need to shower 2 or 3 times a week.
What?
A week? A week.
You only need to shower 2
2 or 3 times a
Well,
week.
that's what cowboys do, right?
Yeah.
Cowboys don't wash up for months.
Right. Because they didn't have access, you know, to bathe and what have you.
Wow.
You know, they out in the field rustling and
Sweating.
and dealing with the cattle and this, that, and the other. You know, and as soon as they get paid and they come to town, you know, they have bathhouses where the cowboys will come in and take their monthly, quarterly, or yearly bath. Can you imagine that? Monthly, quarterly, or yearly bath? When I was 12 or 13 years old,
Right.
this girl pulled up and kissed me.
What?
Oh, yeah. Now, let me tell you something. Up until that point, as a hardcore little boy that I was,
Right.
the idea of taking a bath was athemia. I wasn't trying to hear it. After that girl kissed me, I was in the bathroom more than my mama.
Right.
You kidding me? Shoot, that's word. And y'all listening to this physician who say take a bath 2 or 3 times a week.
Wow.
And y'all run civilization? Jeez Louise.
And they call themselves civil.
And they call themselves civil. And I tell you what, I can't say civil holding my nose. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Oh, there ain't no more cowboys? Yeah, it is. There's cowboys all around. What you talking about? Texas got a bunch of them. What do you mean? Yeah, Houston, what? They breed it out of Texas, man. Come on, man. You know that.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, he is around for maybe. Yo, Gary, you good though? I ain't seen you, bro. Miss by Queen of England, she ain't washed up in what? She ain't washed her what? Yo, stop, man.
No, she didn't.
Yo,
No, she didn't.
yo, you dumb, yo.
WHGE 95.3 FM. We're coming to the close of the show. Coming along here. Okay. I just heard my man say Queen of England.
Queen of England.
Oh, yeah. She's real classy. Classy. How you classy sitting up there wearing all them stolen goods? Is all them diamonds and all that gold you was running around with, and now that your son, the King of England, Charles, Charles, you might want to change your name because some of your ancestors named Charles were some awful ass people. I'm gonna tell you that right off the bat. You know, and I tell you what, the museums of Europe, okay, they wouldn't be worth going to. These same people who claimed our people had no civilization, all right, it stole all that stuff from Africa. How many people seen the Black Panther and seen my man, what's his name?
Chad.
No, the dude that was the quote-unquote villain. I can't remember his name. Some of y'all know. When he went in the museum and they had that vibranium up in their museum, he said, don't worry, I'm going to take it off your hands.
Oh, yeah, my man.
Yeah.
I can't think his name either, man.
You know, that's word. Because without our artifacts, the museums in Paris, London, Berlin, and other places would be nothing without the artifacts from Africa. Okay? Y'all don't have no civilization, but hey.
How about we all, as Africans, got all together and bum rushed all of them and stole our stuff back? What would we have?
Shoot, that's what. And then they would say we're uncivilized.
We're extreme.
Yeah, we're extreme.
They did it and put it on view for everybody to see, and it's crazy, man. That mentality,
crazy.
If you think about it, that mentality is messy.
It is messy, okay? And don't think it's just France and them that were pirates and cowboys and vultures and what have you, because I'm going to tell you something. I'm a veteran. I was in the U.S. Air Force, okay? When I was in the U.S. Air Force, I worked with, and you might even term me as one of those jackals.
Right.
Yeah, right, because we did some rotten stuff. For instance, okay?
Michael B. Jordan. Thank you, Sheriff.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Yep, yeah. That's right. You know? And like I said, we were jackals. That's what we did. That didn't start in my era, okay? Because let me tell you what the U.S. did. What was it? Between 1903 and 1925. Okay, it's a period known as the Banana Wars. The U.S. invaded Honduras 7 times. Okay, fast forward World War II to the present. In 1954, after a popular nationalist leader in Guatemala tried to redistribute some of United Fruits Company's unused land, the CIA had him overthrown and replaced by a U.S. trained colonel who went on to torture and kill thousands of his own people.
Wow.
Okay, and before that, okay, the U.S. Marines invaded Haiti in 1915 and went straight to the Haitian National Bank and removed all its gold reserves, the Citibank in New York City.
Wow.
Went and robbed. That's straight piracy. They went straight up in there and robbed them. That's where the term Banana Republic comes from. It's nothing, it's not just a clothing brand. It's the term from the early 1900s that was given to the brutal and corrupt puppet regimes the U.S. installed in Central and South America, and for these companies like United Fruit, now Chiquita Banana.
A lot of people be wearing that stuff too and not knowing what they have on.
Not knowing what they got on.
You know, if you really knew the history of what you were wearing and the brand that you advertise, you wouldn't advertise it for real.
That's right.
As a straight up peaceful human being.
You wouldn't wear that stuff if you knew the history of it. I would hope you wouldn't wear it.
That's what I said. As a peaceful human being, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man.
Yeah. You know,
it don't make no sense, man.
That's word. And as we've been saying here, okay, they push this propaganda that we're violent. Okay? And what they do is they use the victim's transgressions, okay, and they try to use it as evidence of the entire population's endemic pathology. We are not a people that suffer the pathology of violence and crime. Let me tell you what crime is. Crime in our society, in our communities and what have you, it's a learned condition. Okay? And we learn from some of the worst pirates, criminals in the world. Adolf Hitler is considered the most evil man in modern history. The history books tell us Hitler was a deranged madman, a murderous freak of nature. Okay? Europeans would have us believe Hitler was an aberration. Was he? Consider this. Hitler studied America's murder and oppression of Native Americans and blacks to learn how to subjugate and murder Jews. He got it from America. From America.
Yes. Consider
this. The black economic success can be very dangerous in America. Even now. You know, I remember white supremacists saying that poor people are poor because they made poor choices.
Wow.
Okay.
So if we start making rich choices, running up in their house, taking all their stuff, that'd be still a poor choice or a rich choice.
Yeah.
They say some weird stuff.
Yeah, they do. They say some real crazy stuff. You know, because Hitler was not an aberration, but evidence of the endemic pathology of the white community and white supremacy. WHGE 95.3 FM. This has been The Open Eye.
Yup.
And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays.
Yeah.
Therefore, value those who value you and don't treat those as a priority.
Who treat you as an option.
WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye, and Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, yo, thank y'all for tuning in. Sherry, Jordea, Jakeem, yo, Miss Ba, Kiana, Gary, yo, Daryl, hey, yo, Missy. Yo, good looking out for everybody tuning. I can't say everybody's name, but, yo, Pat, you got something else you want to say?
Yes, indeed. Hey, pay attention. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, what's going on there? Because yours went out. Okay. Like I said, pay attention to what I've been saying about what's going on in Africa. Okay? Because the change is coming. History is circular, and we're coming back around. And the world's going to be a much better place when global African supremacy is in place.
Hope I be here.
You and me both. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Yo, thanks for tuning in. You know.